Before you buy a brand new home, I need you to promise me one thing. Please don't let the excitement make you overlook something that's important. So we have gotten through the part of the contracts, getting the pre-approval done, signing the contracts. Everything is pretty much tied together as far as your loan, and we're closing tomorrow. So just imagine we're closing tomorrow, and this is the day that you've been waiting for. You're ready to get your keys and go ahead on and move in. The moving truck is already packed. Your family is excited. You already picked out where the couch is going to go, and you just want to get your keys, right? But you go to do your final walkthrough, and there are some things that are wrong, okay? You find that a faucet is leaking, or that the sprinkler system doesn't work, or one of the windows doesn't come up or lock, or the door doesn't close right. What are you going to do? Most people think that because the home is brand new, that everything is going to be perfect, and I can guarantee you everything is not. Even a brand new home, whether it is a starter home or whether it is going to be a forever home, they have some small issues that we're going to talk about tonight, so that we can make sure when you go in to do your final walkthrough, you are looking for these things, okay? And so, good evening, everyone. My name is Gwen Ransom. I am your intentional agent. I am a new construction home specialist that sells in Fort Bend County and surrounding areas. And welcome to my episode 6 of Things Nobody Told You About Buying New Construction. So every week I've come on here every Monday at 7 p.m. And to share information that I want to make sure every buyer knows what to look for, knows how to address some things when you're dealing with new construction. And because buying a home is one of the biggest investments that you're going to make out of your whole life, right? Because you're talking about a 15 to 30 year loan, mortgage loan, okay? So it's one of the biggest investments that you're making in your life. And I want you to feel confident and not overwhelmed. I don't want you to be blindsided by anything that comes up. So if you're watching live, please leave your name in the comments, say hello, let me know where you're watching from. And so let's go ahead on and get started. All right. So let's talk about what a final walkthrough is first. This is where you have the opportunity to be able to walk through your home, okay, before closing, before you sign any paperwork, okay, to make sure that the home is in a good condition. It's in the condition where you move into it. It's in, the safe, and everything is done safely for the home, and it's ready for you to move into. This isn't about finding problems or trying to find problems. It's just about making sure that the home you've been waiting for is ready for you, okay? And so I want you to think of it as a final opportunity to kind of slow down, ask questions, make sure everything looks the way it should, make sure it's working the way it should. That's what your final walkthrough is going to be. Now, when you're dealing with new construction, depending on the builder, there are 2 walkthroughs. There's the blue taping walkthrough, where we go in and we blue tape everything that we see. Every little mark, every little crack, every little problem, we're blue taping it, whether it's cosmetic, whether it's, other things that's going on, we're blue taping it, making sure that the builder goes back in and fixes those problems, okay? That's gonna be your first initial walkthrough. And then you have a final walkthrough. Usually when I'm doing final walkthroughs with my clients, I do them on the day of closing, the morning of closing, and there's a reason why. Doing it earlier, if you do it like 2 or 3 days before closing, there's a possibility that anything can happen in between that time, right? If you're going in that morning of closing, you have more fresh eyes on the home, and anything that it needs to be fixed during that time can get fixed during that time. Okay, if you do it earlier, then you're looking at that time period in between the time that you do the final walkthrough and the time that you close. If you don't have any eyes in between, anything can happen, right? A pipe can bust, right? From 2 days ago. When you went in 2 days ago, it was fine. Right before closing, the pipe bust. You won't know it until you get to the house and see the water running after closing. Okay, so for me, I schedule my final walkthroughs the day of closing, the morning of closing, before we go in to sign the paperwork. Because once you sign that paperwork, the house is yours. And any problems, anything that comes along at that time after you sign the paperwork, that's on you to get fixed. Okay, so we do the final walkthrough before closing. One of the biggest mistakes that I see is that people will rush through the final walkthrough. Everybody is excited. They're already thinking about, moving. The movers are calling, saying, what time are we supposed to drop off the box? And, the ADT is calling, saying, what time are we going to hook up the alarms and all of this here? You have all of this going on, and you rush through the process of the final walkthrough. But this is the time where you want to just slow down, really slow down, pay attention to the house, walk in it as it's your first time viewing it. Okay. So some of the things that I want you to check when you walk through that door, some of the things that I check when I'm doing a final walkthrough with my clients, we're checking every door. Whether it's opening, whether it's closing, does it lock? Is it lined up? Is the seals around it good? Can you see, little sun through the gap in the bottom? Or is it all, everything good on there? So I check all of that there to make sure no creatures can come in at the bottom of the door and stuff like that. When I'm looking at the door, I check every door, to the bedrooms, to the garage doors, to bathrooms, whatever door. Okay, you want to make sure that there's nothing that's sticking and everything closes properly, everything locks properly. I check every window. Okay, I open up the windows, open up the blinds, make sure that the blinds are put up there correctly if you have blinds up there. All right, open up the windows, make sure the windows open and close. I had one person who I was talking to at one time, and they were telling me that they bought a home that the windows never opened at the bottom of the home. So they had a 2-story home and the windows downstairs never opened, but they didn't know it until after they closed, because that wasn't one of the things that they checked. Okay, so you want to make sure every window works like it's supposed to. Every light switch, turn the lights off and on, flip every switch. You'll be surprised how often a simple issue can get caught during these final walkthroughs. You want to check every outlet. Okay, so for every outlet, I bring a phone charger, my phone charger, right? When the outlet is working, the little light is gonna be blue. You want to make sure your outlets are working. Simple, right? It's phone charger. Take it with you. I recommend it. Plug it into all of the outlets. Make sure all of the outlets are working. It's quick and easy to confirm that they're working. Also, check every faucet. Turn the water on. Flush the toilets. Okay? Make sure the hot water is working. Make sure the cold water is working. Check under the sinks for any leaks that might happen. Turn the water on in the shower. You want to make sure all of that is working before. All right. Any appliances. Okay. Appliances are huge, right? Some builders will give you the appliances. Some homes come with the appliances, some don't. But you want to make sure that you go in there and you check those appliances. Open up the refrigerator door and see what's in there. Make sure that light comes on, that the refrigerator is cool, that the freezer is freezing. All right. Make sure that that's going on. Check your cabinets and your drawers. Open up every cabinet. Pull out every drawer. Look for the scratches, loose hinges, anything that needs adjustments. This last home that I sold, the cabinets were, the drawers were push, where you pushed and opened it. Some of those push blocks wasn't working, so we had to get them changed out. That's a simple fix, okay, that can happen before you go to closing. All right, make sure that your floors, when you walk through every room, look for scratches, cracked tile, chipped floors, anything that stands out. Check your floors, all right? Paints and paint in the walls, okay? Now this one, for me, I look at how I step back, and a lot of the times I have natural light going on so that I can see the walls, okay? Because sometimes if you notice some touch-up areas in there or imperfections that aren't obvious when you're standing too close. So I step back and then I look at the walls and make sure everything is evenly painted, coated, and everything like that. Now, also go outside. Don't forget the outside of your home. Walk around your home. The final walkthrough is made for you to walk around on the outside also. Don't leave it to saying, okay, everything, I'm just going to check on the inside of the home and everything is going to be good. Don't forget to go outside and check on the outside of the home. Walk around the property, look at your driveway, look at your landscaping, look at the fencing, okay? Have them turn the sprinkler system on, okay? Have them to show you where the drainage is at. When we went and checked the sprinkler systems, one of the valves were shooting up against the fence. Okay, we had them to go ahead on and change that around so that that water is not hitting up against the fence, and then sooner or later, you know, the fence deteriorates because the water is always hitting up on from the sprinkler. That's one of the things that we would not have seen if we didn't have turned the sprinkler system on during our final walkthrough. So these are simple, you know, tips to go in and check when you're doing your final walkthrough. Final walkthrough is important, is as important as any inspection or any blue taping walk-in. The final walkthrough is just as important. It's just so important that when we get ready to close off on it, we have contracts that we have our clients to sign off on about how they accept the home, if they did the final walkthrough or not. That's how important it is, okay? But it's also important that you go and you see your home before you go to closing, before you sign paperwork and take ownership of the home. It is that important, all right? So what do I bring when I go to the final walkthrough? Of course, I'm gonna bring my blue taping just in case I find anything that needs to be fixed right then. I can tape it down. I also have my phone charger, okay? I bring my phone also. Now your phone has a flashlight on it, so you can use the flashlight up in the attic, but you're also gonna use this phone for taking pictures and things like that. When you go in, if it's something that's wrong with the home, take a picture of it. Talk to the builder, make sure that they know, show them where you're talking about, what the problem is, so that they can go in and get it fixed, okay? Also, I take in anything that I need to make notes on. I'm gonna have a little pad to make notes in so that I can remember what I'm looking at, all right? So, do not be afraid to ask questions, all right? I want you to also to remember, ask the questions. If you have a question about a certain thing that's in the house, whether it's the air conditioning unit and how to run the air conditioning unit, how to run because these smart homes sometimes they can be complicated, right? So you want to ask questions. How do you turn on the stove? How do you turn on the oven? Don't be afraid. If you notice something, ask it. Can you explain this to me? You know, how does this work? Will this be fixed before closing? If not, what is the process after closing? Okay? You're being informed, okay? You're being educated. You want to make sure that you are getting this information. And so that's exactly what this walkthrough is for. So tonight I want to just leave you with a smart buyer's tip. Walk through your home like you're seeing it for the first time. not like you're already living there. Slow down, take pictures, test everything, ask questions before you close. This is your home and this is your investment. And so you want to make sure that your investment is going to be the best one for you and your family. Okay, so I hope tonight's conversation helped you understand why it's so important to have a final walkthrough, to do the final walkthrough, and also what to look for in the final walkthrough. Right, buying a new construction home is exciting, y'all. I mean, it's like wonderful, and you waited for this moment. You did everything that you needed to do to get everything done. Paperwork is signed. You're ready to buy. Do the final walkthrough. Okay, it's about protecting yourself. It's about protecting your family. So if you have any questions, please just put them in the comments. Let me know. I'll come back in and answer them. I hope this information is valuable to you as far as when you're getting ready to purchase a home, whether it's in the next couple of months, whether it's in the next couple of years. You can always come back to my videos and watch them. I have a YouTube channel at Your Intentional Agent on YouTube. Also, I post them there, my Instagram, my Facebook pages. So y'all, please use this information to be able to get you the home of your dreams. And next week, episode 7, things nobody told you about in buying a new construction. We will be back next week, next Monday at 7 p.m. Y'all join me. Share this with your friends and your family. And I appreciate everyone who supports me and watches my videos. And until next time, thank you so much. I appreciate you.